हेलो गाइस, स्वागत है आपका कंटेंट मॉन्स्टर्स के एक और एपिसोड में। आज के इस एपिसोड में हम रिव्यू कर रहे हैं फिल्म शेरशाह का। जिसमें मुख्य किरदार निभाया है सिद्धार्थ मल्होत्रा, कियारा अडवाणी, निकेतन, धीर, शिव, पंडित और साहिल वैद ने। जैसे कि आप लोग सब जानते हैं, ये फिल्म निर्धारित है कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा की जिंदगी पर और उनके अल्टीमेट सैक्रिफाइस के बारे में, जब उन्होंने अपने देश के लिए शहादत दी थी 1999 के कारगिल वॉर में। एंड इन द प्रोसेस ही एंश्योर्ड दैट इंडिया विंस बैक वन ऑफ द हाईएस्ट माउंटेन पीक्स फ्रॉम पाकिस्तान विद दे हैड इलीगली कैप्चर्ड।
कुछ भी हो जाए, तिरंगा हम ही ले रहेंगे।
अब कैप्टन विक्रम बत्रा बहुत ही प्लीजिंग पर्सनैलिटी थे, जैसा कि देखा जाता है उनके पुराने इंटरव्यूज में। ये दिल मांगे मोर का स्लोगन उन्होंने तब बहुत पॉपुलराइज किया था, विच वॉज द टैगलाइन ऑफ पेप्सी, जब उन्होंने कहा था उन्हें और भी ज़्यादा टेरिटरी पाकिस्तान से वापस चाहिए जो उन्होंने कैप्चर कर ली है इंडिया से। इवन अदरवाइज ही केम अक्रॉस एज एन एवर स्माइलिंग, फुल ऑफ लाइफ यंगस्टर हु वाज विलिंग टू डू एनीथिंग फॉर हिज कंट्री, और उसी तरह से लोग उन्हें जानते हैं। तो बहुत ही इंटरेस्टिंग किरदार था प्ले करने के लिए, और सिद्धार्थ मल्होत्रा ने बखूबी इस किरदार को निभाया है। नाउ सिद्धार्थ मल्होत्रा के करियर में आई थिंक दो माइलस्टोन्स है, व्हाट आई फील पर्सनली। हंसी तो फंसी और कपूर एंड सन्स, इन दोनों ही फिल्मों में उन्होंने बहुत बढ़िया काम किया है। नाउ दिस फिल्म कैन डेफिनेटली बी एडेड टू दिस टू। इन फैक्ट दिस फिल्म क्लियरली इज हिज बेस्ट परफॉर्मेंस। ही इज particularly convincing as that army officer who's full of life and he wants to do the best for his country.
हर फौजी का सपना होता है कि कम से कम एक बार वॉर में जाने का मौका मिले।
Who's obsessed about being in the army from early childhood. The part that is not that convincing in is when he plays the young college-going student of 18-19-year-old, because वो उनकी उम्र अब है नहीं. But overall उनका performance बहुत बढ़िया है. This is a performance he should be proud of and will be remembered for a long time. कियारा अडवाणी का एक छोटा सा रोल है, उन्होंने बहुत ही बढ़िया काम किया है. She is very sincere and the effort that she has put in can clearly be seen. The good part is that the love story between the two is not the focus of the film. They've kept their focus solely on Captain Vikram Batra's life and his ambitions to be an army officer, and how he does so well for the Indian army during the Kargil war, and how he lays down his life for the country, and yet ensuring that the highest peak is captured. The love story is beautifully interwoven into the film and does not deviate from the focus of the film. That clearly is the highlight of this film also. Even the other parts of the Kargil war have not been touched upon during this film. The focus is solely on what Captain Vikram Batra achieved and how he laid down his life. And that also makes it different from some of the other films in this genre. The other highlight of the film is I think it's very well researched, and it clearly scores on the parts where the army procedures are followed or shown. That part I think comes out beautifully. The other highlight of the film is that it doesn't focus purely on the beauty of Kashmir and Kargil, but more on how difficult that terrain was. India fought that war in one of the most difficult terrains that one can fight a war in the entire world. I mean, the Pakistani army was stationed right at the peak, and the Indian army had to climb up and fight with them. It's obviously the Pakistani army was in a position of advantage.
हम तैयार हैं जनाब।
And the difficulty of that terrain and how the army worked during that war and actually won it for the country is what is shown in the film, and that also is one of the highlights of the film, because that needed to come out. It is very important for people to know how difficult it was to fight that war for India and win it despite all the difficulties. The other big highlight for the film to me is that it's not very high on jingoism, which some of the films in this genre tend to be. It's not very loud. Everything is matter of fact. The way the army functions, how soldiers prepare for war, how do they survive in environments as tough as these, are some of the things that come alive through this film, and that is very important for a film of this nature. There are no cringy dialogues in the film. Everything seems real, and to me that works really well for the film.
तो हो तैयार? करोगे वार? एक अपना, जीत अपनी, दुर्गे माता की।
A couple of points where I think the film could have done better was Captain Vikram Batra's relationship with his sisters, his brother, he had a twin brother, and his parents. It would have been good if they had dwelled on this part also, because his family seems to be there for a very limited period of time in the film. So that part is not touched upon at all. So I think that is something that felt amiss. The other thing is, since this was based on the person, Captain Vikram Batra, it would have been good if they had possibly brought alive what goes on in the mind of a 23 or a 24-year-old जो अपने देश के लिए जान देने को तैयार है, and yet who is so full of life. He's not bothered about what happens to him, but he's very clear in one goal, that he will not allow anybody to take from India that is not rightfully theirs. So ऐसे 23-24 साल के युवक के माइंड में क्या चलता होगा? I wish that spend some more time on that also, because it's very fascinating to study how a person as young as this can be so brave, can be so clear-headed in terms of what he wants to achieve for his country, for his battalion, for his unit. So there, I think the film missed a trick. But overall, I think it's a fairly good film. It's definitely a one-time watch, especially for people who weren't that old during the 1999 Kargil war and who don't know too much about the war of those times, how bravely India fought, how brutal Pakistan was, and yet how India came out trumps. So I think I would definitely recommend watching this film. I would give this film a rating of 6.5 on 10. And like I said, I think this is one of Sidharth Malhotra's best performance, a film he should be proud of. That's it from our side. If you've seen the film, we'd love to hear your comments on what you think about our review. If you like our video, please do subscribe to our channel. Please do keep coming back for more such videos. We'll see you soon. Thank you.